Welcome down the rabbit hole, friends. My grandparents raised me, and they were such huge fans of Elvis Presley. When I saw that Lisa Marie Presley recently passed away, I couldn't help but think of them and how I miss the way they saw the world. Things always seemed much more black and white around them. Sadly, Elvis was found dead in the master bathroom of his Tennessee mansion, Graceland, on August 17, 1977. He was only 42 years old. Fans flocked to Graceland to attend his funeral in droves. Elvis had a long history of drug and alcohol abuse. He came up from utter poverty in Mississippi and became one of the richest and most sought-after performers of his era. But he lived life fast and hard. In a toxicology report weeks after his death, Elvis's blood was found to have had extremely high levels of the opioids Dilaudid, Percodone, Demerol, and codeine, as well as Quaaludes. When he died, he left behind a lot of debt, a lot of empty bottles of liquor strewn around the mansion, and a tiny 9-year-old daughter named Lisa Marie. Lisa Marie was born into and raised in a family dealing with a lot of sorrow, depression, drug and alcohol abuse, all while existing center stage in the public eye. After Elvis's death, it was revealed that Lisa Marie was actually the sole heir to Elvis's entire estate. Lisa Marie ended up living in Los Angeles with her mother Priscilla, and shortly after her father's death, her mother began dating the actor Michael Edwards. Lisa Marie was reportedly SA'd by Edwards when she was a teenager. In an interview with Playboy in 2003, Presley said Edwards would enter her room intoxicated and was inappropriate with her many times.
Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome you all here today. And I'm happy to announce, as you know, that Graceland will be open to the public as a memorial museum to Elvis Presley.
It's been my home for a long time, and it had to go beyond that, and I guess reality and economics is a major point. So it has to go beyond emotions.
Is the upkeep on Graceland terribly draining on the estate?
Very much so, absolutely. This has been a major point. And this has been, of course, the major decision of why we are opening it.
Lisa Marie went on to spend a lot of her early life just participating in charity events revolving around Elvis and seemingly living off her inheritance. In 1988, she married a man named Danny Keough, and she had 3 children with him, the youngest being Benjamin Storm Keough, who plays an important role in the end of Lisa Marie's life, and we'll talk about that later on. In 1994, Lisa Marie divorced Keough, and 20 days later, she married Michael Jackson, raising her public exposure exponentially. Many people didn't even know who she was, other than the recognition of the Presley name before this marriage. They had first met in 1975 when a 7-year-old Presley attended several of his concerts in Las Vegas. According to a friend of Presley's, their adult friendship began in November 1992 in LA. As CA accusations began against Michael and became public, Jackson became dependent upon Presley for emotional support. She was concerned about his faltering health and his drug addiction. Presley explained, "I believed he didn't do anything wrong and that he was wrongly accused, and yes, I started falling for him. I wanted to save him. I felt that I could do it." Shortly afterwards, she tried to persuade Jackson to settle the allegations out of court and go into a rehab facility to recover. He did both. Presley appeared in Jackson's "You Are Not Alone" video in June of 1995, directed by Wayne Isham. In January 1996, citing irreconcilable differences, Presley filed for divorce according to legal papers. Michael Jackson's makeup artist, Karen Faye, later claimed that Jackson had originally planned to file for divorce first and had relented after Presley begged him not to. The following day, Jackson discovered that Presley had filed for divorce herself. In an October 2010 interview with Oprah Winfrey, Presley revealed that she and Jackson had attempted to reconcile intermittently for 4 years following their divorce, and she had traveled to different parts of the world to be with him. After Jackson's death in 2009, Presley was reported to have said that she, quote-unquote, felt shattered. In the early 2000s, Lisa Marie spent a lot of time writing and producing albums, but she never gained the kind of success her infamously famous father had. In November 1998, Presley was engaged to musician John Ozeka. She broke off the engagement after meeting Nicolas Cage at a party. Presley's third marriage was to Cage. They married on August 10, 2002, but then Cage filed for divorce on November 25, 2002, and the divorce was finalized by 2004. Allegedly, Nicolas Cage was obsessed with Elvis, and he ended up marrying Elvis's daughter for mainly that reason, leading to a relationship that just didn't work out. In 2005, Danny Kehoe, Lisa Marie's original husband, started playing bass guitar in Presley's new band and also served as her musical mentor. Presley said that she still regarded him as a close friend, and he lived in the guest house on Presley's property. Presley described her relationship with Kehoe after they separated, saying, quote-unquote, "I don't know how, but we've managed to stay close. There's others that I have pain or betrayal associated with that I won't have anything to do with, but he and I, we had a special thing, unconditional." In a 2003 interview, Presley commented on reports that she and Kehoe were planning to remarry. "Danny is my best friend, always has been, always will be. I love him unconditionally, but we are not together. It's not like that." Kehoe and Presley became closer again after Presley divorced Michael Jackson. On January 22, 2006, Presley married for a fourth time to Michael Lockwood, her guitarist, music producer, and director. Danny Kehoe served as a best man at the wedding held in Japan. In March of 2008, Presley announced that she was pregnant. Her husband was a first-time father. On October 7, 2008, Presley gave birth to fraternal twins Harper Ann Lockwood and Finley Love Lockwood. But sadly, in 2016, Lisa Marie Presley filed for divorce from Lockwood after 10 years of marriage. In February of 2017, the couple's children were actually placed in the temporary care of Priscilla Presley after Lisa Marie made allegations of inappropriate images of children on Lockwood's personal computer in a divorce court filing challenging Lockwood's request for spousal support. The Beverly Hills Police Department investigated the allegations, examining over 80 electronic devices, and found no criminal activity, and referred the matter to investigators in Tennessee. Later, in 2017, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations closed its investigation of the allegations made by Presley, citing no evidence of a crime, and the divorce was finalized in 2021. For much of her life, Lisa Marie was a dedicated Scientologist. She gave untold amounts of money to the organization or her own personal auditing, but also built buildings for libraries and training facilities in the South. Part of Lisa Marie's draw to the organization seemed to have to do with the belief that all psychiatric drugs and substance use should be eliminated. A few years ago, Presley addressed a U.S. congressional hearing in opposition to the use of medication in treating ADHD, stating, "I have spoken to children who have been forced to take a cocaine-like stimulant to control their behavior. I have shared their sense of sheer desperation. Children have been wrenched from their family's care simply because their parents favored an alternative, drug-free approach in addressing educational and behavioral problems. The psychotropic drugging of millions of children has to stop." Addressing the committee as the international spokesperson for children's rights, a group run by Scientologists, Presley expressed her view that parents should be informed about alternatives to drugs so they can make an informed choice about their child's educational and medical needs. But Presley eventually left Scientology in 2014, saying that she had been experiencing growing discontent with the organization as far back as 2008. After Elvis Presley's death at Graceland on August 16, 1977, his will appointed his father, Vernon Presley, executor and trustee. The beneficiaries of the trust were Vernon, Elvis's grandmother, Minnie Mae Presley, and Lisa Marie, whose inheritance was to be held in trust until her 25th birthday. After Vernon Presley's death in 1979, Elvis's former wife, Priscilla Presley, was named as one of the 3 trustees in his will. The others were the National Bank of Commerce in Memphis and Joseph Hanks, who had been the Presleys' accountant. With Minnie Mae Presley's death in 1980, Lisa Marie became the only surviving beneficiary. In 1993, Lisa Marie inherited her father's estate on her 25th birthday, which, thanks largely to the stewardship of her mother, had grown to an estimated $100 million. In 1998, Lisa Marie became more closely involved with the management of the Presley Trust and its business entity, Elvis Presley Enterprises Incorporated, and until February 2005, she was owner and chairman of the board when she held 85% of the estate's business holdings. In February of 2012, Lisa Marie opened a new exhibit at Graceland, Elvis Through His Daughter's Eyes. It included a Graceland VIP tour and featured 200 items assembled by Presley and the Graceland archive staff. The personal exhibit looks at Lisa Marie's experience of growing up with a famous father. Home movies, toys, and rarely seen family mementos are among the items which were on display. I always think it's funny to know that there's actually a jet at Graceland named after Lisa Marie. In November 1975, Elvis Presley named one of his private aircraft a converted Convair 880 jet after Lisa Marie. He spent more than $1 million refurbishing it to use it as his main transport while on tour. The Lisa Marie and one of his other planes, Hound Dog 2, are still on exhibit at Graceland. In January of 2015, both planes were actually put on sale, but as of 2022, they remain at Graceland on permanent display. On January 12, 2023, at about 10:30 a.m., Lisa Marie Presley suffered cardiac arrest at her home in Calabasas, California.
What's the address to emergency?
This is the frantic 911 call as emergency crews raced to Lisa Marie's house to save her life after a cardiac arrest. The distraught housekeeper struggling to help the dispatcher.
But the closest street on the corner, is it Province Drive?
I really don't know. Oh, no.
Ma'am, is there someone else there with you right now?
Yes, he's
453.
He's trying to.
Okay, can you hand him the phone?
That's when a man believed to be Lisa Marie's ex, Danny Keogh, who had been administering CPR, took the phone.
Hey, sir, listen, paramedics are already on the way. Okay, just want to make sure I have the right location. I have no idea where they're at right now. So over. I think they're here.
Her heart was restarted after CPR was administered en route to the hospital in Los Angeles, but she was pronounced dead later that same day at West Hills Hospital at the age of 54. Her last public appearance was 2 days before at the 80th Golden Globe Awards, which she attended with her mother. Hundreds are attending Presley's public memorial service, which was held at Graceland on January 22, 2023. It was reported that more than 144,000 people watched the service via live stream as well. Presley was interred at the Graceland Meditation Garden next to her son Ben and adjacent to her father Elvis. But there have been some shocking situations revealed through the exposure of Lisa Marie's recent life situations. First, people were surprised to discover that in July of 2020, just over 2 years ago, near the same Calabasas house where Lisa Marie lost her life, her son Benjamin Kehoe took his own life. He was only 27, and everyone constantly commented on how much he looked like his grandfather, Elvis Presley. Meanwhile, by the time he turned 17, Kehoe expressed a desire to follow in his grandfather's footsteps. In an effort to become a singer, Universal offered him a $5 million record contract in 2009. But despite the deal outlining the possibility of as many as 5 albums, and Benjamin actually going into the studio to record some songs, no music from the young singer was ever released. In the last few years of his life, the grandson of Elvis Presley watched helplessly as his mother weathered some brutal financial storms. In 2018, Lisa Marie Presley sued her financial manager because he dwindled the multi-million-dollar Elvis Presley trust to a measly $14,000 and left her in hundreds of thousands of dollars of unpaid debt. Kehoe's grandmother, Priscilla Presley, ended up having to sell her $8 million Beverly Hills estate to help her struggling daughter, Lisa Marie. As Lisa Marie also approached her fourth divorce, the grandson of Elvis Presley, Benjamin, struggled with drugs and alcohol. He blamed his upbringing in the Church of Scientology for many of his issues and claimed the controversial church messes you up. He unsuccessfully completed a stint in rehab before the night that brought a tragic end to his life. Unfortunately, it's said that he had felt such an increasing pressure to match his grandfather's meteoric success. Eventually, this had contributed to a deep depression that would ultimately lead to his death. Only a few details of that tragic night have since been made public. Following the suicide, Lisa Marie Presley went into seclusion in her Calabasas home as she raised her surviving daughters. But the story of that devastating night and the events that led up to it surely cast a deep sadness over the entire family. Though Lisa Marie's autopsy only showed signs of cardiac arrest, many are speculating this could be the result of substance abuse. We know that Lisa Marie fought hard against addictions many times in her life. She's been in and out of rehab repeatedly, and with the recent death of her son, who was also affected by drug abuse issues, it would not be surprising if Lisa Marie started using herself to deal with the depression of losing her son. So now, the question is, what will happen to Graceland? Currently, it's a popular tourist destination in Memphis, Tennessee. Graceland was passed down to Lisa Marie upon her father's death, and now Lisa Marie Presley's daughters will inherit Graceland, as it was left to Riley Kehoe and twins Harper and Finley Lockwood. Graceland will remain in a trust established by Lisa Marie and Priscilla Presley that will benefit the three girls. Yesterday, Graceland hosted a public funeral for Lisa Marie.
She knew that I loved her. I fear I'll never touch her, but the old soul is always with me. She doesn't drift above.
She will be laid to rest on the property. The grave of Lisa Marie's son, Benjamin Kehoe, is also at Graceland, as is that of Elvis Presley and his parents. A property that really serves as a memorial of all the memories, the sadness, and history of success coupled with addiction and heartbreak for the Presley family. Thank you for joining me down this rabbit hole. I hope I get to see you again soon when we head down our next rabbit hole.